Yeah, g'day YouTubers, Tinker O'Toole again here with another video. Today I'm going to show you how to start your chainsaw chain without flooding it. A lot of people flood it and wonder what's going on. First, you have to understand the 4 positions that are on the master selector. The first position down the bottom is full choke. The second position is partial choke. The third position is run. The fourth position, which is it in now, is in the stop. So to start the saw, you have to put the chain brake on. So you push the chain brake forward so that the chain is locked, can't revolve. Pull this trigger in and push this all the way down. Now if we zoom in, you'll see that. In that position, the icon or the symbol shows the butterfly in the carburetor as being horizontal. What that is going to do is virtually suck no air and suck fuel into the carburetor, then into the combustion chamber. If your saw is fitted with a decompression valve, which this one is, then it's just a matter of pushing that decompression valve in. That'll make it start a lot easier. If you don't have a decompression valve, well, you don't have to worry about that. Normally you need to probably pull the starter about a couple of times, 3 or 4 times. Some saws are harder to start than others. It's just the way it is. Until you hear it initially trying to start up. It'll, try to start, but it can't start. As soon as that happens, don't keep pulling the starter, because that's going to draw more petrol than what you need, and that will flood. Carburetor is going to be full of fuel and will go into the engine. It'll be flooded and you'll never start it. So avoid pulling this after it pops. The moment that you hear the engine going to pop, you have to stop, put it into this position, which is partial choke. Partial choke will allow the engine to rev up fairly high. So it's partial choke. It'll be partially probably 3,000-4,000 RPM. You should be able to start the saw by pulling the starter cord 3-4 times and it should start up. Now when it starts up and it's going to rev up fairly high, just let it rev up for about 1 or 2 seconds. And when you pull the trigger, you put your hand around there. When I pull this trigger in, you'll notice that this master selector will go up to the run position here. So watch this. 1, 2, 3. That's what will happen. Now that is the run position, and you'll carry on and you'll use your saw. When you're finished, put it in the stop position. Let's just say you've been cutting for half an hour. Even 15 minutes. A lot of the times you can put it just into the run position and start the saw. If it doesn't start after 1 or 2 pulls, normally you just have to don't put it partial choke. Generally you don't need full choke, just partial choke. If it's been a couple of hours, like an example, let's just say you went somewhere and you cut some timber up and you drove all the way back home and you didn't fire the saw up till late afternoon, so it's been a few hours, then you'll have to put it back down into that position there. So we'll just run over that one more time. We're going to start the saw up. First thing you need to do, chain brake on. Push in decompression valve if you've got one. Second thing you need to do is take it off the stop position, pull in the trigger, push it all the way down to the bottom. With fuel inside the tank, you should be able to only pull this 3 or 4 times and you should be able to hear the saw attempt to start. Bloop, something like that there. In that situation, it's just a matter of putting it into the partial choke. You should be able to press that. You should be able to pull this a few times and it should start up. When it does start up, and you pull the trigger, it'll go into the run position. And that's it. Biggest mistake that people make is maybe they don't hear the attempt to start up and they keep pulling it. If it attempts to start and you keep pulling the rope, the starter, it's going to flood. Pretty much that simple. Anyway, the next part, we're going to show you the correct way to hold it. Now, the other thing, the moment that it does start up, then you would take the chain brake off, and that's pretty straightforward. And the chain can move and you're ready to cut your timber. Okay, so we're going to start the saw. Just to briefly go over again, the chain brake is on, the decompression valve is on, it's pushed right down to the very bottom on full choke. Now, you place your foot in here, bend over, hold this with your left hand. I'm right-handed. You should be able to pull this 3-4 times. It'll suck fuel in. It'll go into the cylinder and you'll hear it attempt to start. It'll go. Blub. Can't start because it's on full choke. It'll pop out the decomp valve, so you need to push that back in again. Then you need to put it on the partial choke setting, which is there. Place it back down on the ground. Should be able to pull it 3-4 times maximum. It should start. When it starts, it's going to start up in high RPM, around 3,000-4,000 RPM. When you pull the throttle, it'll click in the run position. Then you can take your chain brake off. Sorry, the chain brake was on. Then you can, there's the chain brake on. It started. You can take that off. That's it. Pretty simple. That is a safety procedure to start on the ground. The other way is that you put it between your legs like this and do it this way. This is quite safe. Again, make sure the chain brake is on. It'll start up. When it starts up, you can take that off and it'll be in the run position as soon as you pull the trigger. And that's it. As I said earlier before, if it pops, so in other words, when it's in the start position, right down the very bottom, the master selector, when that master selector is down there on the very bottom position and the engine attempts to start like bloop, if you keep pulling the handle, the starter, you'll flood the engine. You'll never start it. You'll have to take the cover off, take the spark plug out, pull it a half a dozen times, generally leave it for about 10 minutes, put the spark plug back in and put it on partial choke, not full choke again, because it's already got fuel in it and it should start up. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye for now.